35192 want to send a text. AlanCoxShow.com. You can watch. Thanks again to Dorney Frindelheim for assisting. Guardians avoid the sweep down in Tampa yesterday, 9-2 over the Rays. And they'll move on to Cincinnati. They're off tonight, but tomorrow and Wednesday. Both of them are 6:40 first pitches at the Great American Ballpark. Is that where the Reds play?
Yes.
The Great American Ballpark. And then the Guardians will be back here to host the Tigers. And then the Dodgers will be in town. So, what was I reading on Sports Illustrated? No one wants to hit to Jose Ramirez. The guy keeps purposely getting walked.
Pitched to.
Sorry, pitched to. Yeah, nobody wants to pitch to Jose Ramirez.
They don't want to get hit by him either, though.
They don't want to get hit by him. They don't want to pitch to him. You got to give this guy a wide berth. There's no comment on his stature. He's just, Guardians are lucky to have him. So that's Guardians baseball tomorrow night at 6:40, right after this program. And I was reading that they have removed Lizzo's name from the list of contenders for the Super Bowl halftime show.
That's a big name.
In light of her...
Someone's drinking out of a Crown Royal bottle.
Little Herb, yeah, banging
that's
on
the guy
the
who got in the fist fight.
Yeah, and he's
chugging a bottle
He's chugging
of whiskey.
Crown Royal Apple, I think, over there. Right?
Look at
Ooh,
him.
goes down smooth.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, but it's always someone else.
Yeah.
So there's a little Herb over there, and
got a map shirt on.
Yep, he's doing okay, and he's carrying.
Cartographer.
He's carrying a glass with him, so I guess that he can.
A cup?
Well, no,
I don't see that. Oh,
it's
there
a
it is.
glass. Yeah, he is a.
He took that from whatever bar he was just at.
He is a gentleman, if nothing else, and so you don't want to walk down the street.
He winked at me.
Yeah, don't. There you go. He's maybe listening to the show as we speak. He's got an earpiece in, and so either that or he works for the Secret
He's too
Service.
big to be drunk.
Huh?
He's too big to be drunk.
Oh, but he's not too big to be arrested again.
Yeah, little Herb has had his run-ins with
I appreciate
5-0 down here.
They keep happening near our window.
He's living life, man. You can't tell little Herb what to do, and if he's going to walk down the street with a bottle of Crown Apple and guzzle it, and so what's the glass for?
He stole that.
It's just going bottle to lips.
They're not hand in hand. He was at a bar somewhere having a beer and took that glass with
Yeah, but
him.
that wasn't a pint glass.
It was, and it had the lacing from beer on it.
Oh, it did?
Yes.
Oh, I was going to say it wasn't engraved to any particular
No.
bar or anything. It wasn't like a collector's item.
No, but it had like the beer lacing on it. Unless he poured his own beer and has been walking down the street with
You ever
a glass.
stolen a glass from a bar?
Yes.
I'm ashamed to say I've done that once.
I've stolen ketchup. I've stolen.
Well, ketchup's not a
anything.
glass. I mean, a glass is something that's like, that's property.
I've stolen lots of things from bars.
Really?
Oh, people.
Hearts?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I stole a boot, a thick, like, glass boot mug from a restaurant in Seattle. But I felt weird doing it. And then later on, the people that we were with, I found out that one of the dudes paid for it. And I was like, I thought I stole it. I stole it. But
It was
paid for.
They were compensated.
And that, in a weird way, the non-rule breaker in me was happy about that. But it was also, I get boy people steal things. It's a thrill, Bill. They say it's a rush.
Yeah, I'm not into it.
I'm not either.
I'm
not
like
either.
a stealing things
I got
person.
shamed as a young boy for lifting a candy bar and never went back.
I wonder how quickly they.
Some people love it and
I
are
know.
good at it.
My friend, she, like, it turned her on. Like, she would get turned on. She'd go to CVS and steal makeup and stuff like that, and it would get her very excited.
Yeah.
So,
And then so you would tell her, hey, go steal some makeup and come over.
no, I just be like, stop doing that. You're going to get in trouble.
Oh.
And she did. So then she had to stop.
Well, Lizzo has been dropped from consideration for the Super Bowl halftime show because of this whole dancers accusing her of things. And
Just to recap, what were the accusations against Lizzo?
okay, so 3 of Lizzo's dancers they're suing her because of an incident in a strip club where she and her entourage or whatever wanted them they're all working together and they're colleagues, and so I guess she thought they were having fun, and she was trying to get them to, like, do sexy stuff with the dancers, and she's being accused of weight shaming them. Again, this sounds like
What, you're skinny?
the head of her dance team was in charge of these people, but Lizzo, obviously, it's her name on the marquee, so she's taken all the heat. So 9 people total have filed similar complaints. Lizzo has released her own thing on social media and beyond, saying this is all nonsense. I would never do this. That's why I have to think that it's probably the person who was in charge of the dancers was doing this. But it's your name on the checks and on the marquee, and so the distancing themselves from Lizzo has gotten pretty fast and furious. And so they said that they have removed her from consideration for halftime or performing the national anthem. And the accusers have been on like Good Morning America and telling their story and blah, blah, blah. And this has been rough for Lizzo. Somebody who already said, being on social media is not good for my mental health. I think I'm going to get off social media. And then on top of this, people are like, we don't know if Lizzo's coming back from this. It's just such a perfectly ironic thing to be accused of if you're Lizzo. And so these girls and their lawyer have been making the rounds. You know, I was reading a thing about no more sex, drugs, and rock and roll. I was reading an article about how in the music world, yeah, there's still people doing stuff, but like Led Zeppelin putting a mud shark in a groupie, you know, like that kind of stuff is way over because it's not worth it anymore because the business has changed. So this thing with Lizzo and the strip club.
It's so much more of a business.
Well, yeah.
Ever.
Okay. So sex was ruined by like antibiotic resistant STIs, right? Sex was ruined by super gonorrhea. Drugs got ruined by people who just aren't satisfied with a regular solid high. It's always got to be more. I'm not even talking about addicts, just regular party people. And of course, rock and roll was ruined by Nickelback.
Hey,
so you put all three of them.
Enough.
But the whole thing has been ruined by social media.
Where's the lie?
Social media ruined all of it because artists, bands of any stripe know anything they do, somebody can take a picture, it can be immediately turned into a scandal. It's no fun anymore. So, you know, they used to call bull shrimp on people that said they got into a band to make music. They're like, no, you got into a band to pick up chicks. And you can make a case for that. But if you're starting a band now, you really want to play music for people. There's like no upside to it. You're not getting rich.
I don't know if there's no.
Well, it's fun. Yeah, if you love playing music for people, but it's highly unlikely you're ever going to get rich and or famous because just the way people are paid is so different now. And so anything you do, she was out partying with her dancers. So part of it was, you know, Lizzo pressured her into touching a nude performer at a sex show in Amsterdam. These girls aren't going to say no to going into the place because they're all hanging out. But Lizzo, the allegation that Lizzo threatened one of her dancers, basically pulling the old, you know how many bitches are lucky to be in your spot right now? One of those. Which again, two things can be true. That's not false. But these girls are like, I was disrespected. That's a big thing too.
Is it though?
People, I feel disrespected. Just to say it. You hear it all the time. He disrespected me. There's fundamental respect, I guess you show people. But if you're talking about from a professional standpoint, there's a lot of people who expect respect and haven't earned it professionally. I don't know what the situation is here, but there's this notion that people professionally or with respect to their skill set should be immediately afforded the highest level of respect there is.
Well, I think
which
they're
is
saying
basic
basic respect as a human
well,
being.
I agree. I said that.
Right, but
There's
I
a
think that's what they're
fundamental
referring
respect.
to.
Well, I'm sure they are.
She's not saying
Because you've basically ended your own career by doing this. So obviously they feel strongly.
Which was
about
not very respectful to her own career. So
Well, I mean the
it's not-
dancers.
But I'm saying, like, to Lizzo, like, she disrespected herself.
She tried to tell us that she was 100% that bitch. She wasn't 76% that bitch. The question remained for the rest of us to figure out what bitch is
That
she
bitch.
talking
So
about.
she's got that song. What's the other song?
What?
Good as
Juice.
hell.
Oh, my juice. I got all that juice.
That's how it goes.
She's got a lot of juice.
I got so much juice.
It's about
You
damn
want
time.
Some juice.
It's kind of a bummer because she's got some real bangers out there.
Yeah, I could live without Lizzo's music.
Me too.
I don't
Okay.
remember asking you a goddamn thing.
Well, I told you anyways.
I know you did.
I'm just saying.
Shut up,
You,
Poundcake.
you were saying Lizzo dropping out or no longer in the running for the Super Bowl. One, Lizzo's a big name, a really big name. Two,
You see what he did, Bill?
Mm-hmm.
she
I get it, I think. Can you explain it to me?
Please.
she was never in the running to be a Super Bowl.
No, that's not true. They probably have a list of 30 names. And Lizzo's hot right now.
Lizzo.
That makes
She's
perfect
not as
sense
hot
that
as she
she
was
would-
2 years ago.
They want
But that
people to
makes
tune
perfect
in.
sense. Yeah, but they don't put anybody in the halftime show that's like right of that moment. I mean, Beyonce just did it, for God's sake. Been around for 40 years.
Beyonce didn't just do it. She did it like twice.
Rihanna just did it.
Oh, Rihanna. Okay. Well, okay, but Rihanna's been around a long time.
And she hasn't.
But she said no for a long time.
Well, fine, but nevertheless, I mean, they're not getting people who are like of the moment this minute because you got to let them marinate with the audience to
gotta
where they
have
go,
hits,
oh,
yeah.
I'd like to see that person.
I
I mean,
think like the most current performer was probably The Weeknd, and people don't
Yes.
like it.
there you go.
Yeah, Weekend.
Well, that was produced poorly too.
Yeah.
I mean, but Lizzo is
There's also
very
the
much.
COVID years.
Yeah, I think Lizzo feels like a bullseye for somebody that would be like in the top 10 of their consideration for the Super Bowl.
And how crazy would that be if it was when if the Minnesota Vikings made it to the Super Bowl, and that's who she's dating?
Is she?
I don't
Who's
know.
she-
in
That's
her
in the song.
Oh, she in this song?
A new
And
man on
she's-
the no, on the new Minnesota
Wild man
Vikings.
great till he got be great. That one.
Just have Bill do the Super Bowl.
Not do those songs.
Can you play the flute?
I can play the what is the thing I learned?
The kazoo.
Kazoo
Yeah.
and saxophone. Play that saxophone.
Just give me the goddamn song. What's all these dumb intros we play? Here's an artist you should know. Well, how can I if you're talking? What's the one with Ariana Grande she did? The
I don't know that one.
Poundcake knows.
Ariana Grande's canceled too, right?
Good as hell. Yeah. Oh, yeah, because she broke up that dude's marriage.
She didn't do good as hell.
Yeah, she did. And
Ariana didn't.
yeah, Ariana. did
Lizzo
do a
and
song
Ariana
with it.
Grande did good as hell.
No, they
never-
didn't.
No, they didn't.
That's just Lizzo. This is just Lizzo.
Ariana Grande would never stoop so low to go with Lizzo. Ariana Grande did a lot of collaborations with Nicki Minaj.
Good as hell featuring Ariana Grande.
I have never heard that
Ever,
version.
me either.
Okay, well, this is in Barbershop. Remember Barbershop? Bill, you and I see all the Barbershop movies, right?
I've never seen any of them.
Oh, come
Sorry.
on. None of them?
Nope.
I like how they bleep ass. Come on, man. Yeah. Anyway,
Oh, that's what they're saying?
good as hell.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so Lizzo's off the list. And sex, drugs, and rock and roll are dead.
I mean,
for good.
if Taylor Swift doesn't do it, it's going to be probably another country artist. They'll probably have Carrie Underwood do
I
it.
feel like they haven't had a lot of country artists.
I
Well-
don't know if you put Taylor Swift up there after the year she's had. She's just going to go home and lie down for a bit.
She's touring all next year too.
That's what I'm saying. Does she stop off to do the? I mean, the Super Bowl halftime show for me seems like you don't get the white hot performer because they don't need it.
Weird Al. Do Weird
Please,
Al.
Weird Al.
By the
Weird
time,
Al.
by the time you do the Super Bowl, you don't need the promotion. Like, you get that's like the pinnacle of your career. Like,
Well,
there'll never be another
But
stage.
Taylor
bigger than
Swift
the
is
halftime
making.
show.
But what I'm saying is, Taylor Swift doesn't need any of that. She's making her own pinnacles. You know what I mean? Like nobody can touch what she's doing. So
Beyonce.
no.
Beyonce outsold
No.
Taylor Swift.
No, she did not, Cody.
No.
Taylor has the highest grossing tour of all time.
She's going to make $1 billion this year.
No one has ever made as much money as Taylor Swift. is
People were
making.
getting
That's the
pissed.
article that
People were getting
Beyonce-
pissed at Beyonce because they were. Do you see they were selling listening only tickets to her concerts.
Wait, what?
Okay, so the Bayhive. Is it the Beehive or the Bayhive?
They put a blindfold on you?
No.
They put
You're
you in
behind,
seats that don't have
You're behind a
view.
pole
Oh.
or behind the stage. It's pretty slick. They were calling them listening-only tickets, which we used to call obstructed view.
Yeah, people would probably buy that. Still.
So they rebrand
the
them
building.
as listening only. But people want to see, listen, even if you're the biggest fan, you want to see the friggin' thing. Or at least put a giant monitor in the back
Yeah, so
then
they
of
can-
the
yeah.
venue.
Cheaper tickets.
Oh, they weren't cheaper. That's why people were pissed. They were like $400 for a listening only ticket. I can sit in my house and just blare it.
I just saw an article that she sold out MetLife Stadium, and it was the highest grossing.
Yeah, for that
It
stop,
was like
maybe.
$16.9 million or something like that.
Right, but Taylor Swift is doing like 5 nights at each stop.
Ugh, that's so disgusting.
The dollar bill should have Taylor Swift's face on it, somebody
Really
said.
should.
We talked about this because everywhere her tour stops, it helps the local economy. That's what
like
a big
lot.
deal. Yes.
Like millions and millions of dollars.
Her ticket revenue will surpass $1.5 billion. And you got to hand it to her because I don't even know that there's like the whiff of she's a pain in the ass or a bitch or anything. It's just like a hard worker, seems really sweet.
Takes care of the people that make the
Yeah.
tour happen.
Nah, see,
I don't
because
even-
we think
I
all that,
just-
I think the exact opposite.
But you could, I know you do.
She's probably a super bitch.
Nevertheless,
I guarantee.
I know you
she's a
have to
bitch.
rational. You can't stand to think anybody's super nice.
No way. You have all that going for you. What's your flaw? You a
I
bitch.
just
The
can't.
flaw is that she can't keep a man.
I can't believe that somebody can operate, that any performer can operate at that level and like just not be worn out. I mean, how do you, I know
She's
you're
probably
She
getting
is.
IVs
I
of
know.
fluids and
She's
vitamins
surrounded by people to
and-
take care of her to make sure
she
that
has
the
a
mi-
whole doctor staff.
I know
and-
to make sure the machine rolls on, but still like you still have to love performing every night. You still have to put that
And
face on.
From what you see, she does. Like
Yeah.
everybody's blown away by what she did. When concerts are getting rained out, or there's like she's staying there all night. She's bringing the fans what they want.
Yeah, they were making a big deal about like when some Beyonce show got postponed in Philly or it rained or something.
Mhm.
They paid to keep the metro moving. And people were like, yeah, you should. If your show where you're making a
Mhm.
ton of money at your stop, you should. You should make sure the public transportation's moving. It's taking people to and from your show.
And it was only like $100,000.
Yeah. But that also means that you have really, really smart people in your touring entourage.
Yeah.
Who would think to call the public transportation organization and
"Hey."
go, hey, can you keep the trains running? I'm with Beyonce. Like, that's just a smart move.
I mean, how I look at it as the two biggest artists on the planet are touring at the same time. Ain't nobody got no money. Like, ain't nobody.
Guar and
Nickelback. I've been saying it.
Like, if you want to go to either one of those shows, don't ask me for anything else like the entire
Yeah, but
year.
who's opening?
what?
No,
I
we
want to know
got
who
it.
the openers are. So
There's probably a few for each.
right, but I was just saying, like
I have no idea.
some people I know like to see the openers more than the headliners.
Taylor Swift's so
Bill,
big.
are you talking about me?
Perhaps would you like to see? You're like, oh, I spent $1,500 a ticket to see the opener for Taylor Swift.
But she has different openers.
Yeah,
So it depends. If I only were going for the opener, then I might potentially have to travel. Because these massive tours,
she's done.
they're
in
like,
America right now
I can have half a dozen opening acts because, you know, when I took my daughter to see Billie Eilish in Detroit a couple of years ago, she had a dozen rotating opening. I don't remember the guy we saw. He was great. I wish I could remember who he was because he was awesome.
Also, time to grow up. Go by Bill.
Would you go by William Eilish already?
Bill Eilish.
Yeah, but he was like an R&B dude, like a Maxwell type or something, like Brown Sugar Bray, that kind of thing.
Oh, okay. Now I
I
Bring
remember
back-
who opened for Billie Eilish in Detroit.
Bring back Jesse McCartney. I miss Jesse
Who?
McCartney. The beautiful soul guy.
Who?
Jesse McCartney, the beautiful
Who?
soul guy. You know who he is.
I don't. Who's opening? Well, anyway, I'd love to
Duckworth?
you
remember.
are trying to see who's.
I
Was it
am.
Duckworth?
Duckworth. You might be right. Tammy Duckworth, the senator from Illinois that has one leg.
Yeah, was it them?
Is it a guy?
What year did you go?
It would have been 2021?
Probably 22.
2020.
22, maybe?
22 was Duckworth.
Duckworth, American rapper. Is that who it was?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I wasn't
he was
there.
great. Duckworth. Yeah, dynamite.
Rapper name is Duckworth.
Jared Lee. Duckworth with no...
Oh.
Yeah, Duckworth. Yeah, he was great. Look him up if you dig that stuff. He had a song in the Spider-Man movie.
Oh.
I think that's how he got on people's radar. But he was real good live. Great band. He's out there singing with his shirt off.
Yeah.
Poundcake would
Willow
have loved
Smith,
it.
Jesse Reyes, Duckworth, Jungle, Arlo Parks.
There you go.
A lot of openers.
Yep. A lot of openers.
That's not. I don't think they all opened for her. I
Oh,
think
but-
that was just like it's
Certain
just
cities, they were
cities.
yeah.
select
Okay, that
shows.
makes
Yeah.
Arlo Parks is great too. She's like a British, like trip hop kind of thing. Yeah, she's dynamite. A lot of good artists out there. Okay, I got a break here. You want to get the last word in? Send a text for that. 35192. Get the Corey Roddick Experience on the way for you at 6:30, and we'll be back.
It's the Alan Cox Show.
Everywhere on our free iHeart